Welcome to Duke United show. It's been a little while. We finally have another league game to show you or to talk about. It's been a while, but look at that baby bottle in my nasty baby bottle. What's it doing? Garf, how you doing, man? After so much time with no game, it's been a bit of annoyance. I don't like the international periods, but what do you feel?
Mate. No, I'm exactly the same, mate. Yeah, I could easily give up on international football and just watch club football all the time. But yeah, good to be back. Tough game, though, mate. Tough game. St James's Park.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And you know what's weird? 12:30. There's another big one because I can see this being kind of like the decider. You know, if City can't win today and Arsenal go and win, that's the league done, mate. That's the league done.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Absolutely finished, mate. So, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it.
And I won't be speaking to a single Arsenal fan for a whole year after that.
My gosh, we don't want to hear what they got to say. We don't want to hear it. But look, it is the Newcastle match versus Man United at St James's Park. Actually, one of my favourite grounds to go and play at because it's a nice place, man. It really is a nice place. It feels a bit like Old Trafford. I don't know why, but there's a feel of Old Trafford about it. But just in different colours, and it's really nice, man. I loved it there. I think we drew when I played, but who cares?
I've only been once, mate. But I agree with you. It's the same style of old school stadium, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a big stadium as well. What is it, like 55,000 in it? St James's Park, 60,000, something like that. So I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, it is quite big. But look, we had the presser from Ten Hag. It was good. It was positive. It was obviously talking about new contract for sure. Rashford, obviously, at the end of the season, they're going to come back. Him going away on holiday, and it's good for him to get a little bit of a breather. He said him and Bruno's been playing every week, and to be fair, there's nothing wrong with him getting away. Look, Rashford, we know that he probably wasn't injured. He had probably a little tiny knock, and he didn't want to go down there. He needed a rest, didn't it? We know what he needs. There's no point in going down there to sit on the bench when Southgate. We know what Southgate's going to do, Garth. What do you think Southgate would have done if he played? Probably played one game, maybe 45.
Impact player coming off the bench, isn't he? You know what I mean? Listen, even if he ain't injured, I don't understand the hubbub around him going to New York. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's not dead. He can still move, even if he is injured. You know what I mean? He can still get on a plane and go somewhere. Yeah. Like, for all you, this is the other thing, like I was saying to someone, for all you know, he's out there seeing a specialist. You don't know that he isn't. You know what I mean? Obviously, he weren't, but you don't know that he wasn't. Like, man needs a break.
He could get treatment while he's gone. So, end of the day, he could be like, look, as long as you do this and do this, you can go. Go for a couple of days.
Was it Martin Keown he didn't come out and say it, but he was implying that Marcus Rashford was disloyal to England. And it's like, BA like, come on now, you know what I mean? Like, it's madness. It's madness. And it's distasteful as well, the way that he can't do anything right, Marcus Rashford. You know what I mean? Like, he's spending too much time like helping starving children. I can't believe people attacked him for that. You know, like attacked him for helping out his community. He's doing this. He's buying properties. Yeah, because he wants to. Like, he's being sensible with his money. It's distasteful, mate. In the end, but yeah,
doesn't matter what you do to money, Garth. He can do whatever he wants with his money. Why can't he buy houses? Why can't he do anything and go help people while he's chilling? Why is it okay for people to sit down and play FIFA all day or COD and all that, but he can't go and help people put food in their mouths? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Rashford, keep doing what you're doing, mate, because you're on the field now. You're doing the right thing, scoring goals, doing well. And this is it. When people try and connect the two, and it makes no sense, because when you don't do well, why are you looking at what you've done off the pitch? And then when he's doing well, you didn't say that then, so don't say it when he's not doing well. And it's not taking his eye off the ball. It's doing what you're doing in his spare time. That's all it is. So, yeah, it happens. It happens. But anyway, let's talk about, obviously, Ten Hag mentioned one thing that's really made me quite happy is that Martial is actually training for 2 weeks. He's been training for 2 weeks, Garth. He hasn't broken down in training. What does this mean for Man United? Does it mean he's going to get 10? We're going to get, 5 minutes per week that he trained, or what?
I'm excited because we need him. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks. You can... And people can say whatever they want about Martial. I agree. He hasn't been spectacular for a couple of years. He hasn't been spectacular for us. And I agree, probably his time at Man United's up. But right now, right here, We need the bodies, and we need him firing. Because, listen, he's a far better striker than Weghorst, bro. Far better striker. And that's no disrespect to Voot, but Martial's got something about him that a lot of other players don't have. It's whatever that it factor is. You don't know what he's going to do. He's got a bit of flair about him. Listen, we need him bad. So I'm happy. If he breaks down again, then I think you're starting to look at whether his career's over or not, Nate. Like, you can't, like a Ledley King style, you can't continue with this injury after injury after injury after injury. You know what I mean? Maybe he has to take a year off, really rehabilitate. But fingers crossed, he's good till the end of the season. We slowly bed him in over the next couple of games, and then we start playing him properly. So
well, for me, look, he's been out for a while now. He's been given that time because Weghorst has been here, and he's been able to. We've won games. It's not, you know what it is. It's like Weghorst has done quite well with the link-up play, but and we've won games. So then that's why nobody's saying anything. Now, if we weren't winning and all he was doing was linking up like any other player should do, then we'll be able to get on his back more. But people are trying to spin it as much as they can to make it look like he's doing a great job. He's not doing a great job. He's doing an okay job, okay, at holding up the ball and linking up with other players who do well. So that's that part. The only thing is, which is true, is we actually don't have anyone else that can actually go and sit in there and do even that job. So thank you, Weghorst, for coming in and helping us, you know, fill a gap which had nobody. We might as well have you. That's the difference. But then when it comes to Martial, exactly what you said there, his time may be up. I don't think it's up unless we see this exact same thing throughout the whole season. And then pre-season, he's not fit. If that happens, I'm sure the manager will say, that's it now. Like, you cannot get, like, let's say he comes back this week and then he's injured again and then he doesn't, and then he plays like one more game at the end of the season. And then he's got the whole off season to get himself right. And then he's not right. I think that will be the spelling of the end of him. Because if I was the manager, that's what I would do. I'd give him that time. We've already given him this time now. So listen, whatever you've got, whatever it is, let's work hard and get you right. Let's have you training for a few weeks so then you can be in the squad. And then, hopefully, fingers crossed, you don't break down. And then let's see what happens from here. Because he's too good, for me, he's too good at a player to not give that amount, that kind of chance since he's come in, since Ten Hag's come in. And the fact that we've done well, we're third in the league, we're doing well without him. You can afford to kind of not have so much pressure on him coming in. So, yeah, I'd do that. But then by the end of that time, I'm like, listen, mate, I'm buying someone big and he's going to be in front of you. It's not someone to be in the squad that's going to be probably behind you. He'll go in front of you. And you, when you're fit, you ain't even playing. You're going to come off the bench. So, and then your contract runs out and goodbye. So, yeah, that's what I'd say. But anyway.
Yeah, exactly right, man. Exactly right.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Newcastle's form anyway. Where are they in the league? You know, who's their last game? And who's their top scorers? So currently in the league, they are fifth. They're sitting fifth. They're on 47 points. They're only 3 points behind us. So if they beat us, they actually overtake us and on the same games as us as well. That's pretty scary that they will overtake us and they will be on the exact same games. I can't believe this, what I'm seeing.
No, yeah, they've done well. They've done well. They've been good. I mean, I think Man United, our position is quite deceptive on our form, actually, because we've had some big defeats this season. We've lost here and there. Like, we're lucky that Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs are all in the doldrums at the moment, because otherwise we would be in sixth. There's no two ways about it. But that's not taking anything away. So yeah, like I'm not that surprised that they're that close to us, to be fair. And that goal difference is going to cost us, man.
Garf, Casemiro's got a few more games, and we got some big games to go, mate.
3 games out, he's still out for, mate.
Seriously, I thought we had 3 wrapped up. Like, I thought we had third position wrapped up and was looking like pushing away from people. But right now, we're back in the mix. And I am worried. We are nowhere. Remember just the other day, I was like, if we can keep this going, we can win the league. But the thing is, obviously, I was wishful thinking that Man United can go on and continue doing that with just Rashford bagging goals for fun and nothing happening, no injuries, no red cards, no nothing. I was expecting things like that to happen to the other clubs, where Arsenal might get an injury or two and then they slow down. and then we continue doing what we're doing. But the same thing with Newcastle, they're kind of like punching us slightly above their weight, where they're not really scoring too many goals, but because they're defending so well, they've got such a great goal difference, as you just mentioned there. So it's scary, mate. It's scary because we could be in 4th, 5th position by the time Casemiro comes back and have to push for this back into the top. So that's going to be tough.
I think we're lucky. The next two. Oh, sorry.
So Jinmei says, is Eriksen back? Do you know anything about that? I don't think he's back yet. He's
end of the season. Yeah. I thought it was,
he might be back soon. Did you see?
I thought it was the rest of the season.
No. They were talking about him in training again, coming back to training and maybe being ready for after the preseason, the international break, actually. So be a few weeks away. I don't think he's that far off, Jinwei. I think he's ready. So yeah, what was you saying, Garf? Sorry for cutting you.
I completely, honestly, I've lost my train of thought.
No worries. When you get it back, let's take a look at the last game Newcastle played. They played Nottingham Forest at Nottingham Forest ground, the City ground, and they won 2-1. Isak scored 2 goals. He scored just on half time and just at the end of the game as well. 2 sucker punches for Nottingham Forest after they went 1-0 up. How crazy is that? But Pope in goal. You can see Byrne, Botman, Shah, and Trippier. You know, Trippier comes with that experience on the right. Bruno Ramirez is a top player. I like him a lot. Joe Willock from Arsenal, I think I like him. Longstaff, we know what he does for us. Yeah. And then they got Ishak, who scores goals. And Sir Maximin is a scary lad. He's a scary character. And Jay Murphy, I'm not sure where Almiron is. Because the funny thing is there, Gar, Almiron is their top scorer. He's actually their top scorer. And he's not. Is he injured?
No, just he's been real bang out of form. He scored a lot of goals early in the season, and he's been bang out of form now. Quickly back, I was going to say Casemiro. We're lucky that after Newcastle, it's Brentford at home, Everton at home, 2 home games that I expect 3 points from both, 6 points from
Brentford.
Both. I know we got done by them last time, but we still should be beaten. This is what I mean. We've got to be expecting to beat Brentford now, man. We've got to.
We're in there with it. I think, that's going to be one of the tightest games without Casemiro. If Casemiro's playing and everyone's there, I think it might be obviously going to be a much more of an easier game, but that's still going to be tough. Look where they are. They're 8th in the league, mate. They're on 42 points.
Yeah, I'm not saying
they could be right next to us, and if they beat us, they could go ahead of us.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an easy game, though. I'm just saying we've got to expect to these games now.
Of course.
And Eriksen, Jinwei, I just look, they're saying Everton game. So literally he's going to miss Newcastle and Brentford, and he should be back for the Everton game. I was not aware of that at all. So news to me, excellent news as well. Excellent
We need
news.
him back for sure. Ball resistant player, ball press resistant player. Ball resistant, ball not go near him.
That's McTominay, mate. Ball resistant. You know?
Let's take a look at their last 5 games. So the Nottingham Forest, with their last game, they won. They also beat Wolves. They lost to City 2-0, lost to Liverpool 2-0, and drew with Bournemouth 1-1. So it's mixed, isn't it? It's a mixed bunch. And
they're on a bad run of form. They are, especially when you think about they lost the cup final to us as well. They're not in the best of form, and this is what I'm hoping for: is we're catching them just at the right time, where we can sneak a 1-0 win out of it. You know what I mean?
We should get a win because we did look the superior team the whole time we've played them. Every time, it's just been a tight one. But I don't know. Even like the final, it was like a dogged performance. But I knew we was going to win, even though they had the ball a lot. And I don't like that though. I do not like the fact that we do not control the play when we're playing against even Newcastle. I want us to control the play. But let's take a quick look at So Almiron is their top scorer on 11. Wilson behind him with 7 and Ishak on 6. So they're doing okay. Let's quickly run through Man United and then we'll talk about our predictions. Man United, as you can see, we are 3rd in the league, 50 points. Very mixed form. Only 2 wins from the last 5. Need to pick that back up. Same as Newcastle, actually, but they've got 1 more loss and we've got just a draw. Our last game, funnily enough, was against Southampton where Casemiro got sent off and it was a 0-0 draw. Again, that game, we were looking like we was going to destroy them, but we were just missing that little bit of edge. I felt we was getting into the game and Casemiro gets sent off and then it ends up a 0-0 where we should have lost by at least 2. Last 5 games, we played Leicester, Leeds, Leeds, Palace, and Arsenal. Is that even right? No, it isn't right. That's old. Don't know what's happened there. I don't even know. Sorry, guys. Update was not done, mate. Sorry. But this is definitely updated. Marcus Rashford is touching 30 goals for the first time in his career this season. Sick. And 10 goals for Bruno, and Anthony's got 7. I'd like to see Anthony finish on more than 12. Would be nice.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
So could you bring that back up for a second for me, Nate? Just 1 second, so I can see that Rashford again. So he's got 7 assists as well. Honestly, 34 goal contributions in 44 games. That's outstanding from the kids. So
yeah,
I tell you what, Man United, get that contract signed up right now. Get him signed up now, because I don't want to see him gone when we've just hit 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruno, 20 goal contributions. Yeah, like
tremendous.
This is what I keep saying about Bruno. That was the main thing I was going to say. Bruno Fernandes, man. Like, yeah, that's all I needed to say. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes, you can't question what he brings to this team. You can question what he does on the pitch sometimes. He might frustrate you. You might get upset that he gives the ball away. You might not like his style of play. Man got 20 goal contributions this season alone. Like, come on.
He's a dog. And this is quiet for him.
Yeah, quiet. That's what I mean. The disrespect this man gets, man. People talk to him like we were talking about Odegaard, you know what I mean? And we said Odegaard, like, definitely probably better this season. And then you look at that and you're like, damn, it ain't that much better though, you know what I mean? And people talk about Odegaard getting the Ballon d'Or. I saw IFTV talking about Ballon d'Or for him. I was like, what are you talking about?
Hey, by the way, I had a bit of a little bit to and fro with Steve about this one, the Odegaard.
Oh, is it?
He said you can't compare them. I'm like, wow. You can't say them words. They're the same position, but he's basically saying they're so. I don't know what that means to me. That they're so far apart that you can't compare them in ability. Like, I'm like, wow, you can't go that bad. I was trying to explain to him, that look, there's areas where Bruno excels far ahead of everyone, and that's goal contributions, goals and assists. Nobody does what he does in terms of that. On the overall spectrum. And obviously this season he might have a few people ahead of him, but the amount of goals and chances created, like clear-cut chances created, I don't think there's anybody out there in the world. I don't know if anybody else out there in the world is currently producing what he is in terms of that. So that's why I said he excels in that, but whereas Odegaard, he excels in where Bruno actually is very bad, if you get what I mean, where the ball retention and stuff like that. And I was saying the energy. The funny thing, I gotta tell you this one. So I'm like, Bruno's engine is ridiculous. And he's like, yeah, but so is Odegaard's, but he doesn't have to run because we don't have the ball. So how can you compare them? I'm like, that's what? How can you not compare? You got to say Bruno's engine is more, and he does better defensively. And he's like, yeah, but that's because we don't have. What's to say he can't defend as well as Bruno? I'm like, well, you have to show it. You have to go with what happens, not with what he can do. And if you don't win headers and you don't win tackles, and then someone else wins headers and win tackles, you don't say that's because he didn't go in. Come on, man. He's better at defensively.
Wout Weghorst is the best striker in the league. You don't score goals because you don't have to, because the rest of the team's scoring goals. No, come on. Listen, I understand. Arsenal fans, they're in their pomp at the moment. Every one of their players is the best player known to man. And listen, but I think we said at the time, didn't we? We compared them. Odegaard's definitely playing better this year. No two ways better than Bruno.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of the best players in the league. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But they do different things. Exactly what you said, man. They do different things. I wouldn't swap Odegaard for Bruno, and obviously there's no way Arsenal fans would swap Odegaard for Bruno either at the moment.
I think now, go on, finish what you're saying, so then
I love Bruno, man. I love Bruno. I'm not a Bruno hater, so I can't see anyone else doing the very specific job that Bruno does for Manchester United. Any other player, and I'm not saying that he's better than any other player. I'm just saying I can't see anyone else doing that job, man. Yeah. So,
and I was saying, like, where Bruno falls short, Odegaard doesn't. But where Bruno excels, Odegaard isn't there yet on that stuff. No. So when you look at it overall, I think Odegaard would fit a perfect Ten Hag system more because of his ball retention under pressure, and obviously to still be able to produce similar results going forward. That's great, because that's what we need, a team that can handle all pressure situations. And that's where I find Bruno the one where he drops out. But at the same time, like you said, right now, I'd have Bruno. But as the team gets better and better, I would have an Odegaard just because
That's
he's
fair.
younger and also he's a more well-rounded, if you get what I mean. And that's the difference there. And look, Bruno's serious. Both of them are serious players, simple as that.
Serious.
And really, the main thing for attacking midfielders is goals and assists. So end of the day, Bruno's up there with everybody. Any other player, you could talk about even De Bruyne, you still can put him in the conversation with them. Obviously, he's not as good as De Bruyne, but he's still, his output is higher than De Bruyne in many aspects. So in terms of the clear-cut chances, it is up there or ahead. So you can't not speak to him about it.
No, this is what I was saying. I was having a conversation with Kieran about this, about the modern fan and how you can't these days, like, it's that the whole thing's like, oh, I like oranges. Oh, but what about apples, mate? You saying apples are rubbish, bruv? You saying they ain't a good fruit? What are you saying, mate? What are you talking about? Apples are the number. Like, no, it's not what I meant. I'm not disrespecting any. I've just mentioned oranges, bruv. You know what I'm saying? And it's the way it is that. I'm not saying that Bruno is better than Odegaard. I don't think I ever said that. I just said that I just think right now, exactly, you put it perfectly, Dave. Right now, in this team, I'd have Bruno over Odegaard for Manchester United, the way we play. And yet in the future, you're right. When we start getting... But then again, does Bruno become more better with his ball retention as the team becomes much more fluid with the passing that Ten Hag wants, when he hasn't got to be chasing the balls all over the pitch? There's a different conversation for a different day, obviously. But love me some Bruno. Love me some Bruno.
Yeah, you're damn right. But from what I see, I certain traits about certain players, they usually stick with them, if you get what I mean. A lot of that stuff, especially when you're at this age as well. I don't see him improving too much more. I think this is the finished article, what you're going to get at the best of him. And same with like Odegaard. I think he's going to continue to do exactly what he does now. He's flourished into that player and he's continuing to do what he's done. That's why he was at Real Madrid. That's why he has been regarded as a top player, because he's now producing that. His free kicks are top notch as well. His intelligence is ridiculous, and he doesn't give the ball away. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Bruno as well, because he's improved on the bits where I was frustrated on him. So anyway, let's talk about your predicted 11. I'm going to bring it up. Talk to me about why you want with this team.
This is the team I would pick. So I don't know if Ten Hag will do this, but this is what I'd go right now. I think the back five is confirmed for the rest of the season. I was a big fan of Dalot. You stuck with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, so fair play to you, mate, because you stuck with him all the way through the bad period. You're like, no, he's going to be, he's all right. He's not a dead player, blah, blah. I think that's now done. If these five stay fit, I don't think you change that, Nath. I don't know about yourself. I don't think you change that at all. Obviously, no Casemiro. I've just read that Sabitzer might have a bit of a knock, mate. I don't know if that's perfectly true or not. So, but it comes down to who you're playing in the centre. I think you play Bruno back in the Eriksen role. I think that he fits in perfectly there. Fred next to him. I would put Weghorst in that AM centre role because Ten Hag's going to play him and he likes him there. So give him the option of playing there. Sancho on the left, Anthony on the right, Rashford up top. And this is when Martial becomes, hopefully, fitting into this team, because you can put Martial anywhere in that front three as well. These front three can switch, and now you've got four. Then Garnacho, Palestra, you've got 6 or 7 players who can all fit into this system and rotate in that system, man. But yeah, I think that's the strongest team we've got for Newcastle. I really do. So
looks strong. I've got a slightly different approach. I'm going to talk about the reason why I picked my team. Let's take a look. As you can see, De Gea in goal, of course. Varane, Martinez, Shaw picked themselves. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think he picks himself now as well, especially against the Newcastle when you're coming up against a Maximin. So you know,
100%.
He got brought in second half to lock down St. Maximin, and he's going to have to do the same again. And St. Maximin's going to get injured and come off, as we know. In the midfield, I think McTominay, having scored 2 goals against Spain away in international duty, I think he'll get his chance because he's right on form. He's a goal-scoring threat, and we need that threat. I think he'll definitely start. I think it'll be unfair to not play Fred as well, though. So I get where you're coming from with that. But I just feel like maybe we're going to see Sancho not playing and Rashford on the left, Weghorst up front. And then Fred gets in and Bruno's in. So Sancho might drop. But we need to have some attacking impetus in this game to be able to win. So I've gone with McTominay in there with Bruno, who drops deeper. And Fred can come on second half and give us the extra legs when we need it. Weghorst drops into the hole because I think he's probably better in there because, like I say,
100%.
when you haven't got that pace up front, Garth, you lose that little something that the defense has, isn't it? Defense gets on edge when they got pace against them.
Yeah.
And with Vekhorst in the hole linking up and players running beyond him, that's a lot better than him being up front trying to run him behind. And it looks nasty when he's trying to run him behind, ask for the ball, and you know he's never going to get there. He's treading treacle at all times, so he's never going to really, he's never really going to get anywhere past people. I don't know why he runs into the channels. Anthony, he's coming into his own. He's starting to learn what makes him good. So he's got a plan of right. Sancho on the left, continue to play games. As you said, Garth, he needs to be given game after game to get into a rhythm. And let's give him another game. Let's let him play to the end of the season and see how he gets on. Because this is a team that is going to be playing good football. Casemiro is going to be back in, and we're going to have players score goals. And then, like I said, that strong front three, we could see Sancho go into the hole, Rashford go on the left, and Martial come on at second half. I would absolutely love to see that second half where Vekhorst comes off, Martial comes on, and we will start popping like we did, when he came on the other game and we started seeing that link up play and everything, and then all of a sudden we find out he's injured again. But apart from that, it was lovely to see. It's lovely seeing them. Yeah, it's like poetry. I'm telling you, I just feel like this is great.
Oh yeah. No, they've got a nice understanding, all of them together, and Martial, Rashford got a nice understanding of each other as well, which has always been there. Just quickly on Vekhorst as well. The thing is, you can be a striker that's got no pace, as long as you can finish from outside the area and stuff like that. And you've got a great finish on you.
Sheringham, as I say.
Or you've got a great brain, you know what I mean? Because obviously all my game ever was pace, and that's like once the defenders realised I couldn't dribble, then they weren't scared no more. But for the first 5 or 10 minutes, they were like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" But and Vekhorst, I don't know. He brings something to the team. I'll give him that. But when you've got no pace, you can't finish. You're never in the right spot. You're not even like an old school lump of a striker. You know what I mean? Like the old school. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Ferguson.
There you go, Duncan Ferguson. Yeah, there you go, big Dunk. Like they just stand there, like players bouncing off you, and you just nod it home.
You're
not one of them.
Yeah,
or Fellaini. You're not like a Dalian Atkinson who's got like a bit about him, a bit of guile. You know, he can hit it from outside the area and so on and so forth. You're not a Sheringham with the brain. You're not like. Yeah, he's an AM centre. He is. He's a deep line striker.
He's just not. He's just a player who shouldn't start really. But he just doesn't have enough in it. You're willing him to score.
Yeah, my question was this: I've seen a lot of people saying that we should buy him at the end of the season.
There's something wrong with them. Seriously, there's something wrong with people saying that, because who are we trying to be? Are we trying to go Champions League and win the league, or are we trying to just stay in this 4th and 5th position? We've turned into a team that are happy with mediocre. Like, he's mediocre in terms of, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be, cane him here. But think about it. We want to win leagues. We want to beat the likes of Man City, where we're the favourites. We want to beat the likes of Bayern Munich's and Real Madrid's. They're not going to ever have a Vekhorst in their team. They're just never. And never going to have a Maguire in their team, because that's what it leads me on to. Because I've been listening to the interviews of Maguire, and I'm just really shocked at what I'm hearing all the time. I don't need to prove myself. Like, what were you talking about? How do you not need to prove yourself? You need to prove yourself every time you step on that pitch.
Did he really say that?
I don't need to prove myself.
Is this the one where he said, "I'm captain of Man United, I've had over 200 games"? You've just hit the nail on the head, man. Could you imagine Roy? And I'm not the biggest Roy Keane fan, but could you imagine Roy Keane saying, "I don't need to prove myself"? When you wear the shirt of Manchester United, you need to prove yourself every single game. Every single game. You are never, mate. That speaks volumes about his mentality, that he is comfortable with his performance over the last 2 years.
This is it, though, Garf. You know what? When you play a match, when you've done well and haven't done well. And this is what I don't understand. How is it that he can come out of a game or come off the pitch and then have interviews saying, "I must be doing something right. They're playing me." I'm like, yeah, they're playing me, but I know I can do better. I'd rather hear that. You know what? I've made some mistakes, but I'm doing some things right. But I know that there's lots of my game that I'm really not doing as well as that I used to do. Okay, the manager's playing me, so he's showing trust in me. That's what I would say. But not, I'm good, man. I'm top. You're not top. You're not playing top. You were playing top when you first came. The first season, hats off to you. Doing really, really well. But after that, you've been slapped by every single striker in the league. Every striker in every team, from bottom of the league to the top of the league, every single striker. And that's where I say, listen, like, and again, he's watching social media and he's watching it and he knows it hurts. I know it hurts. I don't watch this. I wouldn't watch me right now. As a player, I would tell, and that's what I tell all my players, do not ever look at social media, mate, because it will hurt you. You can have 10 good things or 100 good things, one bad thing, you'll be looking at that one bad thing, and it will affect your game. Do not look at what people say. And the manager, the captain of Man United is looking at what people say, and then also deluded that he's not playing, that he's playing well. Come on, lad. You've got to see, like, surely players in training go, you can't allow that to happen, lad. You can't. I just can't believe that he doesn't know that when he's playing well and when he's not playing well. I just don't understand.
Listen, I'm exactly the same. I always knew when I played well, when I played badly. You know. And it depends what position you are in as well. But like as I said, we're forwards. Like, you don't score, you don't pass, you don't make any assists, you have 5 touches in the area, you've had a bad game. If you're a centre back, surely, if you know you've been burnt up 3 times in a match,
unforced errors.
Unforced errors, and your passing ain't been great. Listen, I feel for him, I do. But listen, this is what I was going to say. This is what I said about him for recently. He's 5th choice centre back at Man United now. He's fallen behind Luke Shaw as a centre back under 10 Hag. Literally. Varane, Martinez, Lindelof, Shaw, then Maguire. So I think it's obviously defence mode, but it's silly. And it's the truth. The sooner he's gone from Man United, the better for him. Not just the club. The better for him. The moment, because I reckon the moment he goes somewhere else, I reckon he should go Italy or something. I really do.
Yeah, I think he does,
Yeah, like if he goes Roma with Mourinho, mate, I reckon you see a really different Maguire, a confident Maguire, a happy Maguire, and a better player generally.
Yeah.
So
I think it is more to his strengths, because teams sit back and they don't really have too many players who go and pace people out there. So let him go sit there at the back, and no one even needs to think about him as much. And it's not even his fault. He's come in and he's been bought by someone who's put him into nosebleed territory and made him in an uncomfortable position. It's not his fault.
Exactly right.
It's people putting him in above his station, and then it's gonna happen. You get a backlash when you get put above your station. Simple. That's what happens. And then you realize that you're not that level. Let me come down to the level where I'm comfortable at, where I can play the rest of my career and no one can say nothing about me. That's what you do. And you don't hear people talking about a championship player who's in the championship. Oh, he's not Champions League good enough. You don't need to be in the championship.
No.
You're championship good enough. So that's where them players are. And then you've got players in this league who are that, bottom of the table good enough. Right now, Maguire is a mid to bottom side of the Premiership 100%. Defender. So get yourselves in one of them teams, and that's where you're going to be comfortable. Anywhere else, you're going to be getting flack every day of the week. Simple as that. So anyway.
That 100%, man. Paul Merson called it, didn't he? Anyone wants to see it, go and look at that Paul Merson thing when we signed Frank Miller, and he said then, I don't understand it. He isn't a high up the field player. He sits back. Man United don't play that. It's not going to work. And fair play. But
right. Question. Prediction for the game. What's your prediction, Mr.
I'm going 1-0 Man United. 1-0 Man United, Rashford. 89th minute.
Wow. You know what? That's not bad. I don't see a victory. I don't see a victory tomorrow.
No?
I see a draw. I see a 1-1 draw. I see a 1-1 draw. I think Saint-Maximin gets a goal. And I think Rashford gets a goal. It's going to be a real tough game, mate. I can't see it being a game where we can go to and just dominate the game and win.
Oh, no.
We're not ready for that. And I can't see us clean sheeting this with the midfield we've got. Because that means what reason why is we're going to be overrun. The game's going to be like controlled by Newcastle. We're not going to be able to control the midfield with Tomine or Fred and Bruno in there. That's where we're going to struggle. And we're going to need to score a counter-attack goal or a set-piece goal. But remember, set pieces is really Casemiro's, where he looks dangerous all the time. Everyone else don't really look as dangerous on the set pieces. So That's where I don't know how we're going to destroy them. It's
we're
very
not.
difficult to figure it out.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we're not destroying them. Yeah,
I think it's 1-1,
I just think it's so cliched. I think it's one of them ones again. If Newcastle score first, I agree with you. It's 1-1. It's 1-1. If we score first, I think we do win. I do think we win. I think Newcastle. I think they not lose their heads. That's the wrong way to put it, like for them, but they know yet again somehow Man United sneaked another goal in against us. I don't know how this keeps happening. What's going on? And then they have to come after us. We counter attack. You know what I mean? So it really depends. But we haven't started well in any game for weeks and weeks. So I can see where you're coming from, Nath. I really can.
Let me just tell you, looking at the Southampton game, I know we went down to 10 men, but they had chances, like one-on-ones from halfway line. They had good chances. You look at the Leeds games, we shouldn't have won any. I don't think we should have won any of those games.
Leicester game, we should have been 2-0
Leicester,
down
we
at
should have been
half-time.
battered. Even the Newcastle game where we had everyone playing, they had the majority of the game, but we just scored a set piece. Like, when you look at it all, mate, today we don't, tomorrow we don't have Casemiro. And I just see we can't ride our luck every game and just win. It just can't happen. And the averages, the law of averages, you know, catch up on you sometimes. And I feel like this is a game where we're going to draw. We'll see anyway. I hope I'm wrong, because I hope we do have another game where we do win. So we'll see. Brentford and
as long as we don't lose, Nath, it's a good result in my book. It really is. Newcastle are a decent team. We're without Casemiro, who's our most influential player. So a draw, I think, is a decent result. I think a win is possible. But I know where you're coming from. I understand completely, because we have not started well. We're lucky that Newcastle are not very good in front of goal. Like, they're not. So there's another thing.
To think about.
So it just comes down to, I do believe it comes down to who scores first. I really do, this one. As cliched as that is, man. I hate to sound like Alan Hansen or Matt Day, but yeah, whoever scores first takes this game.
All good. But look, it's been good. It's great to be back talking Man United again, finally. And let's just hurry up the game, and let's get the game started tomorrow, and let's have a look. 4:30 tomorrow, kickoff, was it? And St James's Park, and we'll see you for the post-match reaction. Garf, it's been good.
It's been a pleasure, mate.
Let's get out of here, and I'll see you guys on the other side for the post-match. Peace out.